Hey Leos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of October general reading. So your meditation was short but sweet, powerful. I saw the image of a cobra immediately, just came flying into the frame of my meditation, just immediately. And the cobra seemed very agitated. It was hissing and then it was like, briefly, cobras are able to control when they bite something or someone. They decide if they're going to, release their venom with that bite or not. They don't always do it. So it felt like with this cobra that was in my meditation, it was like the venom was flying out of its mouth, even though it didn't want it to. It felt a bit out of control. Or out of accordance with time, right? So then I saw an image of, it seemed in distress, this cobra. And then I was taken to all of these like tiki torches on this dock, on this very large lake. And I saw this kind of funeral shroud on this boat where they, that image of putting a body in a boat that, for like a water burial. I think it was done in like the old days. It's obviously not like a modern practice, at least as far as I know, where they put the body in the boat and then they light the boat on fire and kind of send it out into sea or into the water. And that's what I saw. And I saw that the cobra during that was finally able to rest and sleep and be still, only when that was done. Interesting. Cobra energy is hanged man energy, right? It speaks of really actively taking a timeout, a pause to flip your perspective and see something differently. It's suspending yourself outside of time and being willing to see what may be uncomfortable to see, or willing to view something in a different way that is maybe different than your gut reaction or how you might prefer to, right? So it's a bit of it is a significant energy for sure, right? Cobra is also about that timing. It's a bit of King of Wands as well, because it's about, knowing when to give that venom, when not to, when to move, when to be still. But it feels like something, it is fire energy though. And it does feel like, like for you, Leo, being fire signs, it is a delicate element. You have to work to keep it alive. You got to work to, contain it, control it. So there's something that feels like it's out of accordance or out of control around something going on, either within you or around you, but something wants to shift and transform. With this funeral, with this body being sent down the river and transformed by flame, there is that energy of the death key. We are in Libra season, but second half of October, we will be in Scorpio season with the death key energy. That cobra was only really able to rest once that body was sent off. I feel like something's coming up for release or change. And I do think it's going to require some bravery on your part, or some sort of sacrifice, or some sort of willingness to enact change on your part. But it feels like it is such a major arcana feeling that I'm getting from this, that it is going to directly affect your destiny from here on out and your path. And so it feels significant. It feels important. Let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Leos, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of October. First half of October. Oh, so happy. So happy to see this. Okay. Sometimes an animal energy comes up at the top of the reading as indicative of the energy that's going on. And other times it comes up as a point of encouragement, a balm, if you would, because we got that fiery energy in the meditation and now it's like water to come and calm it. So swan equates to that of the star key in the tarot, which speaks of great hope, faith, keeping the faith, great love, wish fulfillment, calm, peace, wellness, health, physical health, right? Spiritual health. It's such a beautifully optimistic, wonderful healing energy. So the fact that this is coming up for you in this way is beautiful in this context, because it's also, look at this hanged man energy that we're getting from the swan here. Right? Like on the surface here, and we saw that water with the body being released, right? So we have this swan on top here, and then taking the hangman position and being willing to look in a reflective surface and see something differently, or see something that has maybe eluded you in some way, right? So I really love this for you. You know, this also speaks of partnerships, of that mirror effect. I do feel like you have people around you that truly appreciate you for who you are, who see you for who you are, and who really are here for you. So I do feel like this is also spirit coming in to say like, husa, like it's you know, it's a beautiful energy of support within that as well, because with that body being sent off in the water, that, you know, you do that for someone you love, right? It's like people, you know, caring about what happens to you and like mourning the ending of something. So you know, I'm getting the feeling from this that you might benefit, I'll put it that way, that you really might benefit from either some time in stillness or some time away from whatever you've been doing in an active way. It just feels like a time to process, a time to reflect, a time to enter movement and stillness, right? Let's see what's going on. What's going on, Leo? What is going on? I cannot tell you the number of times this has come out in this reading, in this round of reading. So many times. So here we have the Two of Wands. Now what's really interesting about this is it is fire energy coming up for you. It's a fire sign that you are. But Two of Wands is about the foundation, right? If the wands are about the actions that we do or don't take around the work that we love to do, or around the interpersonal relationships of which we're passionate, Two of Wands is about getting that foundation really strong so that we are prepared, right? That we are ready when opportunity knocks, which is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is opportunity going, knock, knock, knock. I'm here to further the work that you've already done, right? Now, what's really interesting about this with the Two of Wands, I see that we're using the Edgar Allan Poe deck today. So, you know, we're going there with the October vibes. I see this guy, you know, kind of running away from everything, all these people fighting, these people facing off, and then him running away. You know, the feeling that I get from this, especially with his red cape, there are certain aspects going on within and around you that you are really being called to confront and face. What is he holding? Looks like a pearl or a ring. It's interesting because pearl equates to the Aquarius energy with the star key, because in Lisa Robertson's animal totem tarot deck, the star key is shown as like having like a pearl there as the wish fulfillment. There's something that is no longer going, no longer wants to escape your attention or your focus, or you're really sitting down and really fully feeling the extent of this change that wants to happen within and around you, right? Let's talk about Cobra energy and alignment. Cobra energy and alignment is poised, ready, and doesn't move before it's time to move and isn't still when it's time to move. It's just a master of timing, clear perspective, and power, and the responsibility that comes with having that much power, because cobras are, of course, highly deadly, right? But also when we think about serpent energy, right, there's that aspect of shedding the skin and welcoming a new cycle. There's something here, there's something that wants to be looked at and possibly shed and left in the water or sent out to sea or burned or whatever it is, right? So here you have the Emperor here. So I'm really loving that this is coming up for you, because we do have the full moon in Aries, I believe October 9th. So this is kind of winging at that for you, going, hey, that might be a good opportunity for you to take a look at some of this stuff within a reflective surface of the moon influence, right? Now, the Emperor, right, number 4, again, Aries energy. This is really about taking full ownership, authority of the work that you do and of the responsibilities that you have around you. This is also an aspect of being your own boss. Being your own boss. So you could be in a position where you could benefit from being your own boss, or you are your own boss, or you're being called to take a greater stance of authority and ownership of your given circumstances in some way. Because only you, it is so true that only you have the power to truly take a look at what is and what is not working and what could use optimization in order to propel you forward. And you live, actively live your highest and best potential, whatever that looks like. And the fact that this is happening under the influence of the swan and the star key here, this says to me that this is really, 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 really palpable. And it's right here on the other side of you taking the time to look and looked at and shift some things that want to transform for your betterment. And I do feel like it involves either letting something go without sending that body off, or being willing to acknowledge in what ways you are perhaps not giving yourself the due time and love and faith that maybe others give you. Okay? Let's see what else is going on. Emperor energy, major arcana. I mean, I couldn't be less shocked to see this. So here we have the King of Cups here. So, interesting. Because the King of Cups is about emotional balance and alignment. It's really interesting. How is your emotional alignment? How is your inner balance? It's interesting how balance works. I feel like this guy is like looking at me like, that ain't a question I want to answer. Do you see his face right there? He's like, let's not go there. It's an interesting one because sometimes we can be very efficient, right? We can be very efficient at sort of, giving a lot of time and attention and focus to everything but our emotional balance state, right? And go, oh no, how's the work going? How's my, physical wellness going? How's, but the family life go, whatever it is. Then it's like, how is your emotional wellness? And you're like, what? Emotional wellness, that just takes care of itself. There's nothing I have to do for that. But the King of Cups, I feel like, is coming in to say, I'm really getting the feeling from this that there's some stuff that needs to be excavated from deep within you that could possibly be some old pain or some old ideas or some old stories, maybe about self-worth, maybe about your own potential, maybe about, your own, innate talent or ability or mastery. I'm hearing mastery with Edgar Allan Poe. Energy here is, right? But there's something here that wants to be excavated and brought into the light that is going to help you achieve this emotional balance that is going to, when we are in a place of emotional balance, when we fully assume the King of Cups energy, then we have full and complete access to our intuition, right? We can't access our intuition clearly and well if our emotions are not balanced, because our emotions, as I like to say, is the fuel, right? That's the gas that makes the car go, right? If the emotions are the fuel and the car is the intuition, and that's what makes it go. I got there in the end. So if that's not balanced, then it's just like, okay, well, be puttering along here, because everyone is intuitive. I don't just believe that, I know that to be true, right? Everyone is intuitive. But how well you are able to work with your feeling core and your feeling center really directly dictates how connected you are to your inner knowing. And that's just what it is, right? Interesting here as well with the Aquarius energy. Aquarians are known as being highly psychic, highly intuitive. They also relate to the High Priestess key in the Tarot. So there is this greater influence of being connected to your intuition and your wisdom as well, which, by the way, Cobra energy, traditionally speaking in Egyptian times, was, yes, it was considered, to be a protector, was worn on the head as a diadem, as a protective symbol, but also associated with the third eye, because it was kept at the third eye space, and was believed to, transcend realms and be able to, see the unseeable. So I feel like there's something in that for you as well. You're being asked to take that eye and really look inward, really, really, really sit with that Cobra energy within you and say, how confident am I feeling in my knowing? How connected do I feel to that truth, right? That I'm exactly where I'm meant to be and that all is well. Because if you're connected to that truth, that does not mean that everything in your outer external circumstances is going peachy keen. That just means that you're connected to your knowing and that your internal life and state is not directly dependent or based on how your external experience is going, right? Ideally, our internal state, we can, and we're humans, It's back and forth. It's moments of success around this and then trying again. And it really is part of the human experience to, you know, struggle with that state, staying connected to our knowing and our inner peace. But ideally, we strengthen that in a regular enough fashion, really seeing to those emotional core, really staying connected to our intuition, so that when our external circumstances inevitably do change, do shift, do challenge us, because we are here in the school of life to learn and grow and evolve as souls, right? That we can still maintain our center, maintain our knowing, right? Something to that. Let's get some advice. Advice for Leos. Oh, really? Ace of Cups, intuition, self-love, self-worth, great love, knowing. This is so spot on. I can't even handle it. You know, the fact that we have this sun is really brilliant for you as well, because your energy, along with being the strength key, is the sun key. Of course, you're going to take 2 tarot, aren't you? Taking 2 keys in the deck, Leos. It's like, well, I got to have space for all my lion realness. Hello. So with this sun energy, it's also kind of giving me Libra vibes as well with that justice key, right? But this is the moon here again. And we were talking about the full moon in Aries. It's going to be, I really feel, a really good opportunity for you. It's also in your fellow fire sign there. So I do feel like you're going to have access during that time period to really take a look at what wants to be looked at. And you can probe that out through curiosity, right? This doesn't have to be something that takes forever, is necessarily difficult to do. It's just about showing up, taking some time in stillness, and asking some questions of yourself and saying, what in me wants to be looked at? What in me wants to be acknowledged? What in me wants to be transformed so that I can align with my highest and best reality, right? This is an intuitive information. We're talking about connecting to that. We also have the feathers here, which is giving me that beautiful swan energy. You know, I'm really drawn to this moth here as well. You know, moths also represent empaths, and moths are so incredibly sensitive, right? They feel everything so acutely, so innately. So the fact that we are looking at the King of Cups, the fact that we're talking about emotional balance, and we're looking at empath energy here as well, I'm really getting that some of you could really just use some time to be within your own energy, maybe take some time out or some time away from external stimuli, and really just sit with what comes up for you in a place of self-love and nurture. Being your own mother through this experience is what I'm hearing. Being your own mother through this experience, because there is something within you that wants to be nurtured, and I do feel like it's tying you directly to your emotional core. And in doing so, it's going to fuel the fire and relight that fire within you so you can move forward in your confidence, your knowing, and your groundedness, okay? Feels really good. Let's get an oracle. Let's get an oracle. You know, that lotus flower too comes up from the muck and the dirt and the excrement, and then comes out on top looking beautiful, right? We all see the beautiful lotus flower, but we rarely even think about what it came from to come up on top looking beautiful like that. I feel like you're being examined to really take a look at what's underneath that beauty, right? What's underneath the surface. Let's get an oracle. Ooh. Oh, communication. I'm so here for it. First of all, this is definitely a crow in the rain with a bowl. Interesting, because it's mirroring that Ace of Cups realness, right? You know, this is about asking for what you need. This is about asking this spirit, your guides, yourself, what it is that you need. This is also communicating to others what it is that you need and really using your voice. You know, crows are not shy about that. Crows are not shy about using their voice and speaking up, right? Even to the annoyance of others. But they, you know, what is that? Closed mouths don't get fed. With all this water as well. Yeah, I'm really hearing that for you. Really use your voice, communicate with yourself, really get clear on what is needed within you in order to align yourself, and again, with all this rain, and balance those emotions. self-nurture, be your own mother through this. And it's all for the greater sake and influence of, aligning yourself to wellness and hope, reconnecting with your knowing and intuition so that you can move forward with all of your tools at your disposal. It's all working in alignment with your spirit in a way that feels really good and really confident, right? We want to get that confidence of the lion really strong within you, right? Really, really beautiful, Leos. With that being said, I'm sending you so many blessings for your first half of October. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I love, love, love reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you. Thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.